This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
Breaking news to begin this midday. It appears that month-long strike at General Motors plants all across the country could now be over. This has impacted thousands of Hoosier workers and tens of thousands of auto workers all across the country. Our Rafael Sanchez has been following this developing story. He joins us from our live desk with what we know so far. Rafael.
Lauren, good afternoon. A deal now on the table that would officially end, as you mentioned, the GM strike. We're talking about the lives of more than 48,000 people, including thousands across the Hoosier state. Now, details on the agreement have not been released yet, and that's because the union's National Council will review that plan tomorrow in a private meeting. They could decide to continue the strike until members vote on it, or they can simply just stop the strike. It will be up to them and that vote tomorrow. Now, some of the big issues, as you may recall, that workers wanted addressed include providing a better path for temporary workers to gain full-time jobs, as well as improving its profit-sharing plan to restore money that the union gave up as GM emerged from bankruptcy. In the numbers, almost 7,000 GM workers in Kokomo, Bedford, and in Fort Wayne were among those that went on strike on September the 15th. Those are Hoosier families. That's up to all the details and whether the workers believe they're good for their families and their futures. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. That is the latest on the live desk, Lauren. Now back to you.
Rafael, thank you for breaking that down for us. Back here this midday, we want to get a check of your chilly forecast on this Wednesday. Todd Clausen is standing by with what we need to know. And Todd, we had the rain that moved in while people were sleeping. You said earlier that brought in a cold front.
Yeah, and that cold front has ushered in a completely new air mass. And this is one of the coolest days we have seen in quite some time here across central Indiana. Temperatures only in the 40s at this noon hour. 48 in Indy, 47 right now in Bloomington, 49 is the current temperature in Lafayette, and pair of fours as you work your way over towards the Richmond area. And one of the reasons why we're cool and we're factoring in a bit of a wind chill is the winds are out of the west-northwest. So that's a cool wind direction for us. Sustained winds anywhere between about 10 and 20 miles per hour, depending on where you are, with some gusts up to about 25 to 26 miles per hour. So that's making it feel even cooler than it actually is out there. And then the third issue is the cloud cover. We don't have any sunshine to at least make it brighter and feel better. And these clouds, unfortunately, they are going to hold thick here throughout the remainder of the day. Not banking on much of anything in the way of sunshine. Not expecting any precipitation, though. A few showers could sneak into the Fort Wayne area, but that should be just about it. We're just dealing with the clouds. We're dealing with the chilly temperatures and the breeze here throughout the afternoon. So actual temperatures probably climb up into the low 50s, but it's not going to feel like that. It's going to feel like it's in the 40s throughout the entire day. Eventually, late tonight, we do start to clear out. We get the sunshine back tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. New this midday, police in Seymour have found a man who may have some information on that infant who was found abandoned inside of a plastic bag. A person walking their dog discovered that child Tuesday afternoon along a fence near South Jackson Park Drive. The baby was still alive and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Seymour police say the person they were looking for is not a suspect, but they believe he may know something about that abandoned baby. We know battling cancer can be costly for those who are fighting the disease as well as their families. So one local business is working to cut some of those costs and give a little bit of relief to the patients at the same time. Our own Alyssa Donovan has more on Circle City Cryogenics and how they're freezing specific items to help cancer patients.
I've cryoed about everything you can think of, between light bulbs, razor blades, gun barrels.
The process of cryogenically freezing items has proved to add longevity, precision, and quality. So when Brian Tomlinson's wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, he wanted to find a way for this process to help her and other patients fighting for their lives. And he landed on these anti-embolism stockings. Cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy are given 2 pairs after their first treatment, but they usually have to buy more on their own dime.
Because they wear out quickly, they snag and run.
And at $50 to $200 a pop, the cost can add up.
I bought some of the nylons, cut them in half, marked them A and B. I froze one at 300 degrees below zero. The others I did not.
Then he handed them off for testing at Purdue University. The results showed the cryogenically frozen nylons had a 50% significant improvement in elasticity and suggests the change in durability to be as high as 200 to 300%.
I got with Tom Dunn, the owner of Circle City, told him what I was wanting to do, if we could do this for every cancer patient in the state of Indiana for free, and he said yes.
Cancer patients can send in their anti-embolism stockings and have them cryogenically frozen for no charge. Today, his wife no longer needs these because she is cancer-free.
Her hair's back, it's curly, her attitude is incredible. She's doing great. Well, seeing my wife go through this and how strong she was through it was an inspiration.
An inspiration that led Tomlinson to a discovery that will help cancer patients across the state. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. So if you or someone you know has cancer, we have details on how you can get your anti-embolism socks frozen at Circle City Cryogenics right here in Indianapolis. You can find that all on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. And again, they are doing this service for free. Well, you may recall seeing Circle City Cryogenics and RTV6 before. Just over 2 years ago, we showed you how this business was saving money for the Indianapolis Fire Department. And you, the taxpayer. Circle City freezes the brakes for IFD's fire trucks, extending their lifespans. The fire department says that using cryogenics actually saves them around $250,000 a year. New this midday, it's been a long summer tradition, and now it's going to be permanent. Ground has been broken on a permanent concert venue that'll be built on the lawn at White River State Park. The park has been holding summer concerts on this removable stage since the year 2004. Once this project is complete, the new venue will include a permanent stage and lighting, permanent seats, also seating pads for up to 3,000 people. There will be lawn seating for an additional 4,500, as well as permanent restrooms and dressing rooms for the artists. The construction is scheduled to be complete in time for next summer's concert season. That'll be in June of 2020. Well, preseason is over, and now the Indiana Pacers want to help fans decorate for next week's regular season opener. The Pacers are giving out free team flags right now. There are 2 sizes of flags you can get, 5 by 3 feet and 3 by 2 feet. The Pacers have given out more than 600 flags so far today. The team will be handing these out at Bankers Life Fieldhouse until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So if you can't make it out there today, you can also pick up your Pacers flag tomorrow at the Fieldhouse from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Well, the Vice President's not cooperating with the impeachment investigators. Next here on the news at noon, how that could land the former Indiana governor in the courtroom. Plus, some West Side businesses are blue about Indigo's next rapid transit line. We're going to show you how they're taking their arguments against the line directly to city leaders. Todd.
And Lauren, no blue sky in the forecast here this afternoon. The clouds have a firm hold on central Indiana. And with those clouds, we're also dealing with breezy conditions and cool temperatures. But brighter and warmer days are ahead. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
Stumptown tonight on ABC.
Welcome back. More testimony is being taken today in the impeachment investigation. On Tuesday, Vice President Mike Pence made a move that could land him in court. The former Indiana governor announcing that he would not comply with a subpoena from the House impeachment investigators for documents related to his involvement with Ukraine. Pence met with Ukraine's president after President Trump's phone call in which he pressed for a Ukrainian investigation of potential political rival Joe Biden. President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, also says he will defy a subpoena. A House committee continues to hear from witnesses who Democrats say have backed up a whistleblower's claims about Trump's pressure on Ukraine. Later today, Trump is scheduled to meet at the White House with congressional leaders from both parties, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Well, the red line, it is up and running here in India. Now Indigo is getting ready for another transit line, but not everyone is happy about this. Coming up, a meeting where business owners hope that Indigo will listen to their concerns. And let's take a live look outside right now. This is our Weather Now camera on top of the pagoda looking back towards the city skyline. Todd Clausen is standing by. He's going to have your full forecast and tell you what you can expect for the rest of the work week. That's coming up right here on the news at noon.
FitIndy.org to learn more.
Vice President Mike Pence is leading the U.S. delegation who will try to negotiate a ceasefire in Syria. They're trying to stop the attacks on Kurdish forces that began after President Trump pulled U.S. forces away from the Syrian border with Turkey following a call between Trump and Turkey's president. As ABC's Julia McFarland tells us, Turkey's leader says he only wants to talk directly to President Trump.
As Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo prepare to head to the Turkish capital amid the ongoing crisis in northern Syria, President Erdogan rejects the U.S. call to a ceasefire. Turkish militias reportedly coming too close for comfort for evacuating U.S. forces, leading the U.S. to scramble F-15 fighter jets and Apache helicopters. Turkish troops advancing into Kurdish territory with the help of extremist militias. Former Syrian rebels and jihadis have been trained and funded by Turkey, where the unofficial Syrian opposition are exiled. The jihadists reportedly executing Kurdish forces and civilians. All this as Russia positions itself as the lead power broker in the crisis, supporting the Syrian regime. Soldiers seen flying the Russian flag in the northern Syrian town of Manbij, previously a Kurdish stronghold where U.S. forces had established a secure base. A stark sign of the wavering American influence in the region, but a drawdown that President Trump favors.
We want to bring our soldiers back home after so many years, and they're the greatest warriors in the world. They're policing. They're not a police force.
Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people are displaced from the region, many Kurds spilling over into Iraq, as humanitarian organizations evacuate northern Syria en masse, leaving those behind vulnerable. Today, Erdogan mocked Trump, saying he can no longer keep up with the president's tweets on Syria, telling Turkish reporters, "We will never declare a ceasefire. We are not afraid of sanctions." Julia McFarland, ABC News, London.
Back here at home, now that Indigo's Red Line is up and running, the focus is now shifting to other projects like the Blue Line. But not everyone is happy about that project. The Blue Line will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland and the airport. But some business owners don't want another bus route on the city's already busy streets. They're hoping to get some answers from Indigo at a meeting tonight.
I certainly feel like this is something that could be beneficial if it's implemented correctly. According to their analysis report, it should be done with shared lanes, and they aren't going to have the increase in ridership to warrant having dedicated lanes. But I feel like if these changes aren't made, then I'm totally against the project going through.
Indigo representatives will meet with business owners and others at 5:30 this evening. That meeting will be taking place at the Wayne Township Government Building. All right, back here at home, I want to bring in Todd Clausen and talk about our fall-like forecast we have out there today. Todd, it's kind of a gloomy day.
Yeah, you look behind us and there's no sunshine out there. In fact, today is probably, at least the afternoon hours, going to be the coldest day we've seen so far this month.
Okay.
Our actual high temperature occurred earlier in the morning before that cold front went through. So technically, when you look at the official high temperatures, it may not go in the books like that, but at least the afternoon hours, it's going to feel that way as the wind will continue and we'll continue to have lots of clouds around. But the good news is it's just a one-day deal as warmer temperatures will start to head our way starting tomorrow. And with that warmth, the brighter days are ahead as well. So Storm Team 6 radar was active overnight with that cold front that went through. We are quiet right now as far as the rain goes, but look how that cloud cover just kind of expanded across central Indiana as soon as the sun came up. And there are a few showers near Fort Wayne, but they should not progress any further down to the south here throughout the day today. And the problem is we just have this very persistent northwesterly wind. So the area of low pressure is right above the thumb of Michigan, and we have counterclockwise flow around an area of low pressure. So that's giving us, one, the cloud cover, and two, the northwesterly winds. And as a result, temperatures are not really going to move much more in an upward direction throughout the remainder of the afternoon. We're at 48 degrees right now. There's the wind out of the west-northwest currently at 17 miles per hour. The winds are gusting, though, up to 20, and that's making that 48 feel closer to 40 degrees as far as the real feel temperature goes. And the reason we're not going to warm is because you have to think of the direction the wind is coming from and look at those temperatures, and you can see Des Moines, Minneapolis, Chicago, all in the mid to upper 40s as well. So that doesn't really give us much hope for any warmth here throughout the afternoon hours. We'll go up a couple degrees for afternoon highs from where we are right now in the 40s to probably about the low 50s, but it's not going to feel like that with the lack of sunshine and also that wind that we have out there. 51 is what we'll get back to later on this afternoon. Now tonight the winds will calm down, or at least they'll start to calm down, and the sky should start to clear just a little bit, but temperatures will be in the 40s. 40s. You'll need the jacket, and by the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're talking about 34 to 39 degrees. That is cold enough for some frost to develop. The key will be if the winds stay up, we will not see any frost. So if the winds calm down quick enough, there could be some patchy frost tomorrow morning. So make sure you join us starting at 4:30 a.m. on Good Morning Indiana. We'll give you the update on that with Alyssa, and then I'll be on starting at 5 o'clock. And then as we go throughout tomorrow, we'll get back into the sunshine. The sunshine helps us out. We get up to 57 degrees tomorrow, which is still below normal, but the sunshine at least will make it feel a lot better across the area. As you look at your 7-day planning forecast, Friday we're up to 62 degrees. Then once we get to the weekend, temperatures are back up into the 70s, and then we'll stay in the 70s for Monday. With the warmth, though, will come the chance of some showers returning to the forecast. There could be a stray one on Saturday. I don't really think it's much to worry about. And then on Sunday, could be a stray shower or two towards the end of the day, but the better rain chances will be on Monday and Tuesday, Lauren, of next week. With temperatures on Tuesday, they'll be in the 60s, and probably starting tomorrow if you join us and I extend the 7-day out to Wednesday. It does look like next week as we get closer towards Halloween weekend. A lot of people will be celebrating Halloween next weekend. Could be a pretty good push of some very chilly air. So more on that ahead.
Oh, my sister's getting married that weekend, so we're going to be checking in with you.
Hope she has a little jacket.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Still ahead here on the news at noon, the latest look at court cases all around the nation. Stick around. You're watching RTV6.
Notorious for giggling in the middle of it.
This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ted Rollins. Day 2 of a self-defense murder trial is underway in Wisconsin. 22-year-old Ezra McCandless is accused of stabbing one of her 3 boyfriends, 24-year-old Alex Woodworth, 16 times. McCandless claims she killed Woodworth in self-defense. Both sides delivered opening statements to the jury yesterday.
The defendant that acted on March 22nd, 2018 is not the meek, mild, fearful girl that you might want to see. Throughout this trial, you will see who the real defendant was.
12:50, everything's good. 4:10, she's suffering from what our experts say is post-traumatic stress disorder.
The victim's mother and grandmother were the first 2 witnesses for the prosecution. Both described Alex Woodworth as a kind and caring individual. The defense is framing the victim as someone with a dark side, which included a fascination with extreme sexual behavior and cannibalism. It is quite a trial. We'll have live coverage throughout the day on Court TV. Now back to you.
Well, you can learn more about other court cases going on around the nation right now. Just visit courttv.com. Well, this is taking your baseball a little bit too seriously. A former justice of the peace who's a Houston Astros fan is in trouble for hitting a Yankees fan during a playoff game. James Warren Dinkins is accused of slapping the opposing fan on the back of the head during an argument at Houston's Minute Maid Park during Sunday's game. Police say Dinkins attacked the Yankees fan for clapping after an Astros player struck out. The Astros issued a statement condemning that attack. Well, the Washington Nationals clinched a spot in the World Series last night, sweeping the St. Louis Cardinals. One of the fun parts about those wins, of course, is the celebration in the locker room, and there was one part of last night's Nationals party that looks slightly familiar. Well, apparently this is the standard celebration now for Washington second baseman Brian Dozier. The song, in case you're wondering, is the Latin pop hit Calma by Pedro Capo. If you think you've seen that before on RTV6, you'd be correct. Last month, this was Brian Dozier with another rendition of his celebration dance. I'm glad they got the ski masks and goggles now, Todd.
Right?
That's pretty smart.
I know, they'll need it. So, yeah, going to the World Series.
Yes, congratulations.
Against the Yankees or the Astros. We'll have to see. That series is 2-1. They're playing tonight. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and chilly this afternoon. Brighter tomorrow, 57, 70s by the weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. Come back and join us for the news at 5 o'clock. We hope you have a great afternoon.